Class is in session. The professor is in. Welcome to the bargain bin video. Today, I'm going to go over who I think you can use in this first female faction boss battle if you don't have the top 4 or 5 or 6 that I laid out in my previous video. If you haven't seen that video yet, go ahead and check it out. But if you don't think you have any of those 4, or you know for sure that you don't have any of those 4 top big hitters, then I'm going to go over 1 or 2 in each of these 4 categories that you can bring to the boss battle to do some damage. One thing that I do want to remind you is that with the boss just doing 1.5 million health per turn, your 5-star golds that are maxed should last into turn 3, so that's going to give you some time to play. And the other thing is that you're going to need to bring somebody that's going to break some of that 200 gems on the board for the shield to help your faction mates who are going to carry you through this if you don't have those top 4. Cool. Let's get to it. Let's get to who is in the bargain bin. So if you watched my first video, you know that I said this was my sneaky pick for the top 6. But Ms. Keebler, Stacy Keebler, she's definitely in this part of the bargain bin for very clear reasons. You know, she does have trap gems, which is something that this boss is going to affect the boss because of the buffs. You're going to turn those traps into purple gems, and then you're going to buff your yellow gem damage to do extra gem damage. With this one, you're just going to keep recycling these 3 moves back on through. The only problem is this is purple gems and this buffs yellow gems, although this is a 2x2 random area into yellow gems, and we're not using the finisher, which is the other extra buff. So she's one of the few that I'm going to recommend in this video not using the finisher setup, but even still, she does have trap gems, so she is going to do a bunch of damage with those too. So this is one that you can use in the focused category. So in that focus category, you don't have Stacy Keebler. This is one option for you. Carmella isn't the best option out there, but she is someone that you could use. You could still run her the triple purple moveset, although I wouldn't recommend it since this sub does not hit very hard at all. I would actually put in a different move that would allow you to do a lot more damage. If you did actually take her up to 6 stars, she does allow you to choose purple gems, but nothing. The only good thing she has going for her is she's going to make 7 of these into trap gems, and then you just need to destroy 7 of those trap gems, or as quickly as possible, to get the most points out of her. There are several others that are better than her, but this is an option for those that don't have the top 4 or don't have Stacy Keebler. So in the chaotic category, I got Mickie James as one that you can use. Specifically thinking about just how big her finisher is, don't worry that it does damage to you. You are going to heal yourself with all the heal gems that you are putting on the board, or at least come very much close to it. But this really only works if you have a plate for her, and that is this plate, the Mysterio Mask plate. So when you make the heal gems, it's going to buff your yellow move damage. That's what you need to make her the most effective. So it's making yellow gems making heal gems that do that, and then where she becomes problematic is having a high charge move. But since you're getting a bunch of finisher damage, that's what makes Mickie one option in this category if you don't have one of the top 4. In terms of blowing up the board, I would put a tie here. I'd say Alundra is one because her countdown gems create the bottom row full of column breaks so that you can break those columns. If you have Powerhouse China, she's going to blow up the board every 3 turns using her setup with all of the blast gems that she creates. So putting a Titan plate on her could also be a possibility. And someone like Mutant Bailey, who also, once you get up to 6-star, I believe has a Choose Blast Gem move, but also has a bunch of X Break Gem column column breaks. Which one was it? Rose to Destroy. So that's another option in terms of blowing up the board with a pretty big finisher as well. So in the focus category, I hope that's a few that can at least do some damage for you. Another good possibility in the chaotic category could be Lana. Lana herself, if you have her gear, which does 100% more move damage already, so you're going to be able to buff her finisher. So her finisher does pretty good damage, especially if you have some purple move damage medals on her. And if you did take her up to 6-star, then you already know that her blue running clothesline creates trap gems. If memory serves me, it's only 4 to 6 trap gems. It's not a lot of them, but that's still trap gems. They make randoms at the end of it into purple gems. That's kind of useful. And so you could run a double blue with this one swapping into purple gems, the spear. But one thing is for sure, she is going to make gems, but she's not going to really blow up the board that much. But she is a possibility if she might be your highest rated superstar in this category. And for a lot of people, she will be. So in the aggressive category, I'm going to be linking Bianca here as someone who's going to be able to at least blow up the board, has a pretty sizable finisher, and I would actually run the blue moves that create blast gems. So that way you could put a couple of rows of blast gems down, blow up the board with the with the finisher, and then it will reload itself. So that would be what I would do, and if you could find a way to reload it and put in the multiply gem, that would be an interesting way to run her as well too, although I'm not sure you could do it. I haven't tested it out. But Bianca should be someone that will help you at least break the shield and do some damage with that finisher. Another possibility in the aggressive era is someone that many have brought up recently because of CSS requirements, and that is Beth Phoenix. And although she does have high move charges, she does make a lot of cross break gems, and she does have a sizable finisher as well that you can buff up. You can also do it the other way around, that if you do have her 5-star or even up to 6-star, using the countdown gems, which is what I would probably do, so that way you create all sorts of blast gems, and then you can blow up the board with the countdown decrease with the military drop. So if this is someone you have built up, this is someone that can be effective, although probably in the 20 million a turn sort of max effective. Speaking of aggressives that can blow up the board, you're looking at one. So Ronda Rousey is another one that can make, with either one of the submissions, a whole bunch of X-Break gems across the board. She has a pretty sizable finisher as well that destroys rows of gems. So she should be able to reload actually pretty easily at that point too. So if you are someone who actually has Ronda, consider using her as well too, at least in a shield breaking capacity. In our last category, the defensive category, you have Shayna Baszler, if you are lucky enough to get her, as someone who's one of her moves makes snowfall black gems. It's the armbar that would make snowfall gems. You can then turn them into black gems. Black gems obviously would load up a finisher, but you'd actually be able to, that's bonus damage. Lost my train of thought for a second there. But the snowfall gems, you could destroy a bunch of those, destroy the board, blow it all up, and try over again. So she'll have at least some help there, but this is by far the worst category for people, for someone to look for and for someone to use. So your best bet, and which is someone that everybody has, might actually be Nikki Ash. So If you are going to run Nikki Ash through this, somebody else, you could put the Mysterio mask on her, but none of her yellow moves are that high, and it's finishers that get buffed, so you would probably be wasting it by putting that on her, because her finisher is blue, and the Mysterio mask works on yellow moves, and this is the move that's getting buffed the most from what she's going to do. So you'll at least stay alive a little bit longer because you're going to be making heal gems, but she is not going to be blowing up the board in any sense. So this is one of those cases where if she's probably going to be your highest female character in this category, and she is, I think, almost that for myself. So maybe Nikki Ash? Question mark. Thanks for coming by. Thanks for watching. As you can see, if I was running my only bargain bin characters, these were the ones I'd probably be running, and I would 100% need to be carried. So don't forget to see what the boss can do first before you level up any boss breakers for female characters. See if this can be won without doing that, so you can save that currency for a later date when we do have a lot more female bosses, but maybe not quite so much yet. If you found this video helpful, hit the like and subscribe. That stuff helps me out to create more content and lets me know that I'm doing some good things. Also, if I missed anybody that you think should be in this bargain bin, put it in the comments. This is by no means an exhaustive list. There are definitely characters that I have missed or thought might not be as good as the ones that I had put up here. But I'm definitely willing to submit that if you found somebody better, put it in the comments and help other people in the community. So it's less about me being right and wrong, and it's more about everybody coming together and crowdsourcing this knowledge. Appreciate you dropping by for class today. The professor is out.